Tipp FM's live coverage of the Tailteann Cup comes in association with John Kennedy Motors, main Toyota dealers Clonmel. Call in to see the full range of new Toyotas, including the all-new full-electric CHR Plus, along with our large range of used cars at John Kennedy Motors Clonmel.
Just a couple of full times from the Tailteann Cup earlier on today. Fermanagh 327 to 113 victor over New York. Leitrim getting the better, losing out to Wexford 20 points to 112, and London losing at home to Sligo 216 to 16 points. Two games this evening. Longford against Down is at 6 o'clock, but we're heading to the Garden County. Wicklow is going to be taking on Tipperary, the senior footballs. Paul Carroll's going to bring us the action. Afternoon, or should I say good evening to you, Paul. Welcome to the Garden County. How are you keeping?
Good, Devin. Good evening, listeners. Welcome along to Aughrim. Echelon Park here in Aughrim. Myself and Anthony Shelly are situated in what's kind of a confession box kind of set up at the back of the stand here, but we're here and ready to go. We've both made different routes to make it here to Aughrim. We came through the mountains on the way. Anthony somehow ended up in Wexford, but he managed to get here for a finish, and we're ready to go. It's blustery enough conditions. The wind is picked up and the rain has just started to fall in the last 10 minutes. Both teams are out doing their warm-up. But Anthony, just a general point, I suppose. It's Tailteann Cup third round. The winner here today is into a quarter-final. Tipperary have never been into a Tailteann Cup quarter-final. And for Wicklow, for the loser here today, they're finished for the year. So Wicklow semi-finalists last year. Tipperary never have gotten to a quarter-final. So massive day for both teams here today.
Massive day. It's knockout football from now on, and a massive day. And Tip they've had a steady enough year, you would say, and it would be a shame to see it end today. But I actually think that they have a really, really good chance. Obviously, Wicklow are going to be strong favourites, particularly after the league result where they beat us by, I think it was 14 points in the end. But it just didn't feel that day like that was a hammering. Tip controlled a lot of the ball that day, and if we can do the same today and make better use of it than we did the last day, I think we have a real chance. The wind it's a 5, 6, maybe 7 point wind, blowing from right to left. So it'll be interesting to see if I was Tip and we had a choice and won the toss, I would play with the wind, because the last day we played against the wind, and it was all over at half time.
Yeah, so that was, I think, 2-15 to 3 points at half-time. But speaking to some of the Tipperary backroom team members before the game, they had told me that they had come through that same mountain trek that I drove the car through, and you certainly wouldn't want to be on a bus making that journey. So that could be an excuse for the Tipperary lads' first half performance maybe 2 months ago. That was the 15th of March 2026, and we'll go down through the lineups. Tipperary have 4 changes from the team that was named on Friday morning. You have Jimmy Feehan, who's in for his first start in over a year. He's missed out through injury. He's in for Mark Corcoran at cornerback. Killian Butler of Moy Rovers wears the number 19 jersey, starts in place of Emmett Maloney. Stephen O'Brien, wearing number 24 of Ballina, starts in place of Owen Craddock. And Paddy Creedon of Thurles Sarsfields starts in place of Keane Smith. So in comes Jimmy Feehan, Killian Butler, Stephen O'Brien and Paddy Creedon, and out goes Mark Corcoran, Emmett Maloney, Owen Craddock and Keane Smith. I believe we're going to have Aughrim Aveen here now as both sets of players line up in the very blustery conditions out there on the field. Umbrellas well sprung on that far side, the open stand side of the field. So PA system just asking the management and everyone who doesn't need to be on the field to leave. And we await for Aughrim Aveen. Wicklow going to be playing with white jerseys on their backs with blue numbers. Tipperary in their navy jerseys with that blue hoop across the chest. So now it's time for Aughrim Aveen. So ready to go in Echelon Park for round 3 of the Tailteann Cup. Tipperary taking on Wicklow. The winners into the quarterfinals. The losers here today will finish their campaign for 2026. As we see the players line up, and straight away, Anthony, looks like Tipper going to have the breeze in the first half.
Yeah, I think that's if they got the choice, and I think that's the right decision. You don't want to be going chasing the game at half time, but when you have it, you have to use it. And with the changes that we have, particularly in the forward line with Stephen O'Brien coming in and Paddy Creedon, 2 joints of men, I'd expect to see us being a lot more direct today than we have been over the last couple of weeks.
Speaking of giants of men, there's a very big man in the middle of the field for Wicklow. He's a good 3 or 4 inches taller than Joe Higgins, who's a big man in his own right. Referee in charge in the red jersey, middle of the field, is a Tyrone man, Kieran Enetta from the Omagh St Enda's club. He throws the ball up into the sky and it's fisted clear from Joe Higgins. Trying to break onto it was Killian Butler. Tipperary just struggling to get ball in possession, but they have done so. Looks like Dai Hogan has got that one. He's run himself into a little bit of trouble. Ball still on the ground. It's been picked up by Padraig O'Toole. He's the big man I was talking about. He's all of 6'7", I'd say, out there. As he hand passes off now to Dara Fee, number 5 on his back. So Wicklow playing from left to right as we look out. They're playing into the breeze. They're playing with white jerseys on with blue shorts, and Tipperary playing from right to left as we look out with the navy jerseys and navy shorts. So on the attack here is the midfielder Jack Kerwin on this near side. Kick pass into the full forward line, running out from the 21-yard line, been marked by Jimmy Feehan. Is the Wicklow corner forward there, Oisin McGrainer, and he just hand passed it out over the line. Felt the pressure of Jimmy Feehan, and Tipperary have won that line ball and taken it quickly, and it's James Morris progressing the ball up the field now. He has the run of Stephen O'Brien in front of him. O'Brien hand passes the ball forward now. Tipperary on the attack over on the far sideline through Micheál Freeney. He's been fouled. He's won an advantage, and it's going to come back for that. And you might see Stephen O'Brien have a crack at this. It's on the 45 on the sideline, but it could be a chance for a 2-pointer with that.
Yeah, normally you would say it's a very difficult angle, but we have seen Stephen before. I think I wrote him off down in Clonmel one time from that very position, and he put it over the black spot. So it's definitely within his range. He's only about 5 yards in from the sideline, just on the 45 or a little bit outside it. So he has the range, particularly with the wind. So it'll be some kick, but it'll be a great 2-pointer and a great start if it did go over.
So we have about 7 or 8 players crouched around the square, awaiting this one if it does drop short. So here's Stephen O'Brien. He's a good 10 yards behind the ball now as he's placed on the ground. Starts his run up, swings the right boot at it. It's not going to have the distance. It's going to land around the 14. It's been batted to the ground, but caught there by Dara Fee, the wing back for Wicklow, as they go through the hands and work it out to the other wing back, Gavin Fogarty. Work it out to the centre back now. That is Owen Murtagh, and now Wicklow are on the counter attack, surging out of their own half back line down through the middle of the field. Now come over to this near side where their full back is in possession. Matt Nolan hand passes it forward now to the tattooed wing forward. That's number 10, Jonathan Carlin. Carlin now crosses the edge of the 65 just in front of the Tipperary defence, and left foot kick passes it short to the cornerback who's made his way up the field, Tom Moran. So Tipperary's first attack is dropped short, and Wicklow have won it back, but Tipperary are well settled in their defensive shape at the moment, as Wicklow aren't probing too quickly. And I suppose, Anthony, Wicklow will be looking at it that ball in hand is important for them in the first half, playing against that breeze.
They're going to try do what Tip did the last day, just kind of slow down the attack and just try run down the clock from 32 minutes out. But in fairness to them, they don't really have a lot to go. Tipper set up very well at the back.
So Waterford Wicklow still have it just outside the 45. Back out to the 65 they go to their fullback, Matt Nolan. Another kind of tall, strong-looking player out there. He gets it off to number 14, Kevin Quinn. He scored 1-5 against Tipperary in that league clash here back in March. That one finished up 3-19 to 13 points. And that was a game that was finished at half-time, really. Tipperary 2-15 to 3 points down at the break. So they'll be looking to be in this game as long as they can, but still Wicklow have possession and they're up around the halfway line. Now they look to build a bit of steam into the attack and get it up to the 45 through Malachi Stone on this near side now to the wing forward, number 12, Christopher O'Brien, and back into the middle of the field to the captain, Dean Healy. Always a good player running with the ball. He's going for a 2-pointer, drops short into the hands of Kilsheelan Kilcash's Shane Garland, and he's fouled coming out with the ball. He had lost possession and it had scrambled out of his hands towards the Wicklow go forward, but the referee had awarded the free for Tipperary. So
yeah, it was an ambitious attempt for a 2-pointer into that win, and I say Shelly was happy to hear the whistle.
Joe Higgins just sees the challenge coming from the wing forward and just puts his shoulder down, shoulders his man to the ground, and now Tipperary are on the attack. The young Clonmel Commercials man showing his physicality early on, just saw the man come running into him at full speed. He dropped the shoulder and down to the ground went Jonathan Carroll, but Tipperary have run themselves into trouble now. The ball has been touched on the ground, has it by a Tipperary player. Play on, says the referee, and now it's a free out for Wicklow. So Tip just ran into a bit of trouble there inside the 45, and Wicklow have won it back.
Wicklow are hunting in packs, Paul. Anytime that somebody takes a hop or a solo, they're very quick at getting 2 or 3 lads around the ball. So Tip would be well advised to just be a little bit more quicker use of the ball, or maybe even a little bit more direct.
Yeah, slow start to this game. 4 minutes 44 seconds gone. We are yet to have a score here in Aughrim. Your coverage on Tipp FM with thanks to John Kennedy Motors, main Toyota dealers in Clonmel. The winner of this game will be into the quarterfinals, which will be played next weekend, as Shawnee O'Connor is pulled up for pulling the jersey of the cornerback, but referee has played the advantage, and Wicklow used that advantage, and they've on the run up there. Nice little stutter step by the fullback Matt Nolan to get in around the tackle of Stephen O'Brien. But still, Wicklow just probing around the edge of the 45 as they bring it up to the edge of the 40-metre arc. And now a hand pass goes into the full forward. He's coming running out the field, gets a pass away, and it's been intercepted by Jimmy Feehan. As we mentioned, ankle injury has kept him out of action for the best part of a year, and he hand passed it forward to his brother Paddy. Paddy, the captain of the team this year, hand passes it to his near side. Coming forward is Charlie King of Ballina, right in front of us now. He hand passed it down the line to Kieran Costello. He's just had the ball knocked out of his hands, but it goes back towards Charlie King, and he's going to hand pass it infield towards James Morris. Good play from Tipperary as James Morris sprays one across the Micheál Freeney on the other side of the field. He has Joe Higgins running with him, but he takes a real loose solo. A complete mistake from Micheál Freeney on his own. Went to drop the ball onto his right boot and just took his eye off it, and it skewed off his foot. And that's a very easy turnover, Anthony. You probably won't see a handier one for Wicklow.
No. And Micheál is, he spent 5 or 6 seconds giving out to himself. 3 balls, Paul, have gone into that corner, into Jimmy Feehan's corner. He's been out for a year with surgery and everything, and he's come out with all 3 balls. What a start for him. Jimmy
Feehan is after winning that ball back, and now Dai Hogan is going to send one long to the edge of the square, but it's our first wide of the day, just too much on that. And but Jimmy Feehan has come out with 3 balls in the first 6.5 minutes of this game, and you'd almost forget the impact he has on this team because it is so long since we've seen him.
Yeah, he's just a real leader. Even when he was injured, you would see him on the sideline urging on the lads. He's just a brilliant player, and I just love watching him every time because he gives it 100% every single time.
Well, here's our first look at the goalkeeper, Mark Jackson. He's a man who's known for his kickouts, and that is an incredible first kickout. He put it right outside the 45, right onto the sideline, and straight into the hands of a teammate who called him Mark. I said he's one to talk about because he's been in the NFL in the last couple of years in the International Player Pathway Programme, and trying to become a kicker, and he's certainly talented in that. We've seen the first score of the game that looked like it was Padraig O'Toole with the left boot who put that over from close range, but it all came from that kick out from Mark Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. We were saying last night I'd actually back off and
go. Mistake from Shane Garland from the kick out, and now Wicklow could be in for a goal into the edge of the square. Diving save, the ball is still there, the ball is knocked into the back of the net. A quick goal for Wicklow straight off their first score. A miss hit from the kick out from Shane Garland went straight to the full forward. He brought it in, played it across the edge of the square, and number 15 Owen Darcy's shot was blocked by a combination of the Tipperary defenders and goalkeeper, and then knocking it into the empty net was Kevin Quinn, the full forward. And that's a real unforced error there for Tipperary, Anthony.
Absolutely. When you have to win like that, don't try to be fancy, just put your foot through it. He tried to be a little bit fancy, mishit it, and fairness to him, he did recover with a good save, but the rebound was just tapped in. But if we're going to win this, we can't afford to be giving them gifts like that.
So Tipperary on the attack now over on the far side of the field through Kieran Costello. And Tipperary have the one advantage. No, says the referee. Taking a shot there is Killian Butler, landing around the edge of the square. Dai Hogan fists it, but it just goes to the left and wide. One of those real awkward balls landing between the fullback and the goalkeeper. Dai Hogan, the smallest man in the field, got his fist to it, but it just went wide. And a bit of a half chance there for Tipperary.
It was a half chance of fairness. It was always just that little bit too high for him, and he did the best he could just to get a fist on it, but it was something of a half chance. But interesting, Paul, 3 shots that we've had have all actually dropped short.
Yeah.
And we have the wins. So maybe it's not as significant down on the field as it does look like from looking at the flags and what it feels like here in the stand.
Yeah, well, I saw Mark Jackson, the goalkeeper, practicing frees before the game, and he was halfway between the 45 and 65 playing with the breeze, and he wasn't hitting the back of the net or anything like that. They were kind of dropping around the goal line, so maybe it's not as strong as Anthony said, as now it's a ball to the edge of the square from Tipperary. Shawnee O'Connor is there, but there's way too much on that ball, and that's another one gone wide. And we might have seen the wind kind of get under that ball. We saw the wind push Mark Jackson's last kick out over the sideline. That's why Tip had that line ball in, but too much on it there, and another kick out coming for Mark Jackson. So,
yeah, and as I said, like, I would actually just drop back another little bit and let him kick it to the full back or the corner back and see can they run from 100 yards ball, because when he gets, there's another one.
Yeah, that's another one out over the sideline.
Yeah, but it should have been kept in fairness. Yeah. But that's it. That's
ball played by Paddy Feehan into the middle of the field, looking for Stephen O'Brien. Stephen comes sliding in to try and catch it, bounced off his chest, and now Wicklow have the ball back, and it's goal scorer Kevin Quinn. Hand passed in behind to the big corner forward there. That's Oisin McGrainer. Back to Kevin Quinn. He just loses his footing and loses the ball. And now he's trying to get it away, and he's been dispossessed by a combination of Tipperary defenders, Charlie King and Paddy Feehan. And coming forward there is Owen O'Connell, actually it was, who got that hand in. Gives it off to James Morris. You can see the players struggling though with holding the ball in their hands as the rain has been falling here. But a good run now opens it up for Micheál Freeney. Hand pass infield to Killian Butler. Has he been fouled? He breaks through a couple of tackles trying to get a hand pass away. Does so at the very last moment as Tip retain possession just outside the 21. They come back out past the 45 to James Morris, and he goes out to the 65 to Stephen O'Brien. The Ballina man has his clubmate Charlie King to his left hand side, and he gives it to King, number 7 on his back, cuts in onto his right foot, then hand passes it back the field towards Paddy Feehan, lets the ball bounce and gathers possession just in front of us as he's going to go outside of the boot and spray one towards Kieran Costello on the far side of the field as Tipperary look to open up this Wicklow defence, go from side to side, and now they create an overlap over there, and it is Paddy Creedon is going to have a shot. He kicks it high, and I think one umpire has nodded to the other. They like it. Over the bar it goes. First score of the game for Tipperary comes after 11 minutes, and it's Paddy Creedon. Tipperary 1 point, Wicklow 1-1.
Yeah, it was a good period of play there from Tip. Kept the ball, didn't panic, moved it over to Paddy. You would say like that was a low percentage shot from the angle he was at, particularly in the right foot, but a really, really good point.
Yeah, straight away the umpires knew it was straight over the bar. So here's another kick out coming from Mark Jackson. I mentioned he was trying to get into the NFL a couple of years ago. Attended the mini camp, the rookie mini camp for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2024. He's trying to become a kicker, but his kick out now has been overturned by Tipperary, and Dai Hogan has it now. He's trying to get in behind the defence. Is Dai Hogan, hand passed across to Stephen O'Brien. Goal chance coming, saved by the goalkeeper, knocked over the crossbar. What a save that was from Mark Jackson. Stephen O'Brien was on the end of that Dai Hogan hand pass across the edge of the square. It might have been an inch too high for Stephen O'Brien to really get power on it, so he just tried to loop the fisted effort over the goalkeeper's head and into the back of the net, but Mark Jackson, backtracking, was able to just fist it over the bar. But it's another good score for Tip.
A good score, and as a goalkeeper yourself, Paul, you know how difficult a save that was. He was pedalling backwards, and had to really launch himself going backwards, and it was a great tip over the bar, but a great effort from Stephen as well.
Well, he's hit a kick out there, and we've certainly seen the wind take hold of that one. He went straight up into the air, landed around the 65, but it came down at a 90-degree angle, and actually none of the players got a solid touch on the ball, so Wicklow have got onto it now. 12 and a half gone. It's 1-1 for Wicklow, 2 points for Tipperary. And it's the home side on the attack here in the white jerseys. Back out to their corner forward. Owen Darcy, who's playing in a right wing forward position at the moment, kicks it into the middle of the field where the midfielder Jack Kerwin has it, and he spreads the play over to the far side of the field to Johnny Carlin, number 10 on his back. Mentioned he's a sleeved tattoo on his left arm, so very easy for us to identify him running out in the field. And back it goes to the centre back. That's Owen Murtagh as he brings the ball forward now as Tipperary sit inside the 45. 13 minutes gone here in this Tailteann Cup third round encounter. It's Owen Darcy on the attack again. He cuts in around Charlie King, tries to get a hand pass forward, and it's a nice one towards the wing forward, and now it's the corner back who's all the way in a corner forward position, and he's forced to turn back out the field. So nothing gained, nothing lost there from either side on that moment of penetration from Wicklow. Tipperary are back into a settled defensive shape now as Wicklow spray the ball back outside the 45. So solid enough defending, Anthony, in the first 15 minutes from Tip.
Yeah, we've been really good at the back and set up really well and winning the one-on-one duels when the ball does go in. And,
it could be a chance now for Wicklow. They've slipped in behind and it's a fist across the edge of the square and it's just gone over the bar. It was number 13, I believe, Oisin McGrainer, who got on the edge of that. But it was Dean Healy again who just penetrated through the Tipperary defence and one hand pass in behind. Yeah, and I suppose that is the threat, Anthony, when a tackle is broken and it kind of opens up then.
Yeah, and a good cutback, kind of a David Clifford kind of cutback from the corner forward to get into position to receive the hand pass. But I still think Tip did nothing wrong there. That's just good play from Wicklow.
And Tip have got on to the kick out now. 1-2 to 2 points. Wicklow lead. It's just that Kevin Quinn goal that separates the sides. 14 and a half minutes on the clock here in Aughrim, where it's still windy, maybe not as heavy rain as it was at the start of the game, but Tip are on the attack now through Charlie King. He brings the ball forward, pops it off to Shawnee O'Connor. First real look at Shawnee in this game. He plays it back to Charlie King now. Tip operating inside the Wicklow 45, now just outside. Central position outside the 45 is Paddy Feehan, and he gives it off back the field now towards Kieran Costello. Costello brings this ball forward now as Wicklow have about 8 men spread across the 45 metre line as Killian Butler tempts himself to have a go through all those bodies, but instead plays it back to Paddy Feehan. He gets it off to Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee, even though he's so far out from goals, he had a quick look at the post and instead he gives it off now to Paddy Feehan. Paddy Feehan's going to have a go, but this one is going to bounce way to the left and wide, and you could see Paddy throw his eyes up to the heavens when that ball came off his left boot, because it came way off the outside of the boot and way well wide.
He was right to take it on, but as you said, as soon as it left his boot, it was heading wide. Malachi Stone has obviously been detailed to mark the cornerback for Wicklow has been detailed to mark Shawnee O'Connor because he's following him everywhere, even when he's on top of him, even when Shawnee isn't involved in the play. And the Wicklow management are heavily involved with for the last couple of years with Clonmel commercials, so they'll know the truth.
Now they're on the attack now.
Shawnee holds.
It's a danger beckons for Tipperary. Padraig O'Toole is up to the edge of the 14 with the left boot off the post and bounced back into the hands of Tipperary fullback Owen O'Connell. A low shot looked destined for the back of the net, came low off the butt of the post, and Owen O'Connell, I would say he was quickest to react. I don't even know if he had time to react. The ball just came flying back into his stomach, and Tipperary have certainly got away with one there, and they're on the attack halfway between the 265s now with Charlie King on this near side. But talk about being let off the hook there, Anthony.
Yeah, we got a bit of luck there, but it shows the importance, Paul, of getting in their faces. Every time we miss the first tackle, they seem to be straight through and goal. As well, we were set up, but you've got to get some contact on the body of the opposition player coming in. You can't be just going in ball headed and missing the tackle.
That's another cheap turnover there from Tipperary on the 45. Just 3 players close to each other and just a loose hand pass there. And speaking of loose, number 7 there, Gavin Fogarty, went to catch the ball, actually hit him in the face, but no Tipperary player near enough to him to put him off gathering possession and continuing the attack for Wicklow now between the 265s. They're going to punt the ball into the full forward line. Jimmy Feehan is in a race for possession over there with Oisin McGrainer. McGrainer has it in front from now as he looks to take Feehan on down the end line, and now he cuts in one way, cuts the other. Now he's still can't get around Feehan though. He's been forced back out. The ball's been knocked out of his hands, and that is another brilliant piece of defending from Jimmy Feehan as Tipperary regain possession. And they give it straight back, but Tipperary have won it back again. It was Killian Butler hand pass intercepted but knocked out over the sideline.
I think Jimmy's man has got 4 possessions and Jimmy has dispossessed him 4 times. It's a brilliant start from him.
So Owen O'Connell now in possession and Micheál Freeney has it for Tipperary. We haven't seen much of an attacking threat, Anthony, for Tipperary so far in terms of just getting the ball in and looking at threat up front.
Yeah, it's a lot of short passing going on, particularly around this area of the field. We're not getting the head up and looking to see if there's anything on inside. But I mean, it's very hard. Like Dahi Hogan is 5'7", and he's in the full forward position. Paddy Feehan going in there now, but we have big men in there. We should be just getting them into the edge of the box and see if the long ball is on. And we're not giving ourselves that the opportunity to do that.
Well, here's Shane Garland, the goalkeeper. He's made his way up the field and gathered it and hand passed it off to James Morris. And Morris now looking for the run of Stephen O'Brien in behind. Lovely bit of footwork from Morris, get in around his man, just leaves the ball behind him momentarily, gets it back up off the surface. Hand pass goes out to Stephen O'Brien. Stephen throws up a nice dummy, and now Tip retain possession back out to Charlie King. King now has Micheál Freeney inside him. Freeney's younger brother Liam is on the bench here today for the first time, as Paddy Creedon has it now. He's going for a 2-pointer. He's off balance. He's kicked it well though, and he's got it. Paddy Creedon with a 2-pointer, sliding forward onto the ground as he was kicking it, central position, but it's over the bar, and all of a sudden it's just 1 point in it now. 18 and a half gone. Tipperary 4 points, Wicklow 1-2.
That's an absolutely brilliant point. I thought he was crazy. He looked to be falling and just swung a leg out of it from just outside the arc, and it sails over the bar. And said that the umpire had no doubt he was running for the flag, before the ball had even crossed the crossbar. That brilliant point from Paddy.
Big high kick out to the middle of the field again by Mark Jackson, and again it's Wicklow who have the men in around the breaking ball, and they've got onto another one, and that's by no means a fluke, Anthony. They seem to be set up in a way that those breaking balls are falling right down to the Wicklow man.
Yeah, exactly. They're when you have William Tell, as I call him, in the goal, like, it's very easy to work in training as to, he's going to hit the target area all the time, lads. Just get the bodies in there, and that's exactly what's happening. And
his kickouts are coming down at a real high angle. He's loads of backspin on the kickout. It's flying up into the air. Yes, the wind is holding it up a bit, but it's dropping down in a way that is easier to predict the breaking ball. But it's Wicklow on the attack now through their number 2. That's Tom Moran. Just a point in it. 1-2 for Wicklow, 4 points for Tipperary. Just 20 minutes gone here in Aughrim Park, where the rain has seemed to subsided, but the wind has stayed. Very scenic venue here with trees and mountains surrounding us on both sides. As we look out to the far side of the field, Wicklow on the attack. It's through Johnny Carlin, the number 10. Hand pass goes forward now to the edge of the 21. It could be a shooting opportunity for Padraig O'Toole. He's been crowded out by 3 Tipperary defenders. He just has to let go of the ball. Tipperary defenders throwing themselves in for it. Stephen O'Brien flicks it on the ground, and it's broken out to
really
Killian
good
Butler.
Defending there.
And swarm defending from Tipperary as Paddy Feehan gets a heavy shoulder right in front of the referee. And the referee has blown the whistle, much to the dismay of the Wicklow sideline. But I think it's because it was a head collision.
I think, Paul, this could be a card because it was. I don't think it was shoulder to shoulder. I think it was shoulder into the chest, and that's why Paddy has stayed down.
And the referee was 2 yards away from it. It was right in front of him, so it looked like he was going to let the play continue, and then he just saw that Paddy Feehan was down holding his head, so he stopped it. That's why the Wicklow supporters were aggrieved, because they had a chance to really counter-attack Tipperary from just 30 yards out from the goals. So Stephen O'Brien is having some words with the referee, trying to say that it was a head-high challenge, and Jimmy Feehan isn't too happy to see his younger brother get a hit like that, but it doesn't look like the referee is going to brandish any cards or anything. It just looks like he's going to stop the play for the injury.
Probably give Wicklow an indirect free kick. He never likes to see Paddy going down because he's been plagued by injury over the years, and he has done the collarbone a few times. So when you see those sort of belts going in, you always worry that it could be the collarbone again, but hopefully it's just give him a minute on the ground and he's just a bit winded and he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's back up, sitting up, and now it looks like he's going to be able to stand up again. So it looks like he's going to be able to continue. And the referee said as a Tyrone man, Kieran Inetta, I think it is, Eannetta, and he's having a few words with Paddy Feehan there now, maybe just explaining what he saw to Paddy Feehan, but it looks like no cards or anything are going to be brandished. But in fairness to the referee, he's having a good chat with the players, and I suppose that's a good consolation for players once they know what the story is.
Yeah, I still think he was wrong. I still don't. I think it was more, it's a shoulder into the either the head or the chest. So that's a free to us all day long.
So plays continued anyway. They took that indirect free. They actually kicked it back to their goalkeeper, Mark Jackson, who's made his way all the way up to the 45. And here he is now in possession in the bright yellow jersey. Hand passes it forward to his cornerback. That's Tom Moran, I should say. Moran now gives it off to his teammate, who takes a big bounce in front of him. Jack Kerwin gets onto the break himself. And now it's a shot from distance, landing dangerously around the edge of the square. Watching it all the way was Tipperary goalkeeper Shane Garland. He's under a little bit of pressure now as he's trying to get around a couple of forwards. He has no real easy out ball as he's under a lot of pressure now, and he's just going to have to kick it away. And in fairness to Shane Garland, and the Tipperary might get away with that. They have done, as the Wicklow forward tried to keep the ball in play. It bounced off his chest and went out over the sideline. And now Tipperary are on the attack. It bounces in front of James Morris, right between the two 65s. And Morris brings the ball forward. He has Shawnee O'Connor running off him. And in front of him is Dahi Hogan. Dahi has it now, pops it off to Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee straight away has 3 men on him. bounces the ball and now kicks it back out the field, back out to Killian Butler. So 1-2 for Wicklow, 4 points for Tip, 21 minutes 40 seconds gone. But in fairness to Shane Garden there, when he had the ball, he was looking for options, Anthony. Nothing was on, and now Killian Butler looks to have slipped in behind on the far side of the field. That's Charlie King actually all the way over there. It looks like he might have been fouled. No, says the referee. And away comes Wicklow. Heavy shoulder goes in there from Stephen O'Brien. Tipperary have won it back now through Killian Butler. And Butler now has done the 45. He's looking for options. He gives it back the field towards Kieran Costello. And the referee is going to give a free for Tipperary on the 21. I can only imagine it's for dissent, Anthony, because... or
else he's seen something going on with Joe Higgins inside. Joe had made his way into the edge of the square. Maybe there was a bit of pulling in there.
Yeah, but whatever it is, it's going to be a 21-yard free for Tipperary. But Shawnee O'Connor is saying to the referee that he wants to bring it out to the 45, so that will tell you the nature of the free, maybe, Anthony.
I don't think it was a breach.
So it must have been dissent then.
Somebody must have said something.
Because it looked like Stephen O'Brien had fouled a Wicklow man. The ref let play continue, then Tip overturned Wicklow, but they didn't get the free, so maybe words of dissent to the referee. So now, after all that, Shawnee O'Connor has a 2-point attempt just on the edge of the 40-metre arc, central position. He's going to be taking it out of his hands, it looks like. And with 23 minutes on the clock, if this was to go over the bar, it would give Tipperary the lead.
Yeah, fair play to him. You know, if to admire him for backing himself for bringing it out and turning down the easy point. But I think at this stage of the game, I probably would have just tipped over the easy point and get our noses in front.
Well, here's Shawnee O'Connor. That one looks like it just needs to go a bit, and it does, and it goes over the bar. Shawnee O'Connor puts Tipperary into the lead. 23 minutes gone, 6 points for Tip, 1-2 for Wicklow.
I never doubted him. Never doubted him. Brilliant point from Shawnee.
Unbelievable, and it looked like he just kind of poked it over the bar.
He didn't. I thought when it left his foot, it might drop short, but he judged it perfectly. Like me, he's playing with such confidence at the moment.
Yeah,
he's prepared to do that in a big game like this.
Well, he's been top scorer in the league, I think, this year across the 4 divisions. Shawnee O'Connor certainly at the top of that leaderboard. And now kick out coming for Wicklow. Bounces high, or not bounces, but drops high into the middle of the field, and there's been an awkward collision there. Yeah. And one of the Wicklow players are down holding his face. So nothing sinister went on anyway, just an awkward collision, and looks like he might have got a cut or something. The referee is just signalling to the sideline to come in and have a look at him. So
again, it's a bit like Body wanted, he'll just stop it and give Wicklow an indirect free.
Yeah, Wicklow had possession anyway.
Just to go back to Mark Jackson's kickouts, I suppose it is made easier for him, and you referenced Padraig O'Toole there at 6'7". What's his name? Jack Kerwin, I think, is 6'6".
Yeah,
and you look around, there's a few 6'2", 6'3" lads. They're a really, really tall team. So that if you're a goalkeeper, and you have that sort of targets to be aiming at, it does make your job that a little bit easier.
So speaking of Mark Jackson, the goalkeeper, he's in possession of the ball now, ready for this indirect free. So a temporary substitution has come onto the field, and it is number 19, Joe Prendergast. I believe he started against Tipperary in the league. So he's on momentarily for Johnny Carlin, who's just getting stitched up over in the far dugout, as we can see him standing up outside, been tended to by the physio. And that is a line ball for Wicklow, it looks like, on the far side of the field. So with 24 minutes 20 seconds on the clock here in Aughrim, it is 1-2 for Wicklow, 6 points for Tipperary. Tip playing with the breeze in this first half. And Wicklow on the attack on this near side now through their wing forward, wing back even, Gavin Fogarty, operating like a wing forward at the moment though, because he's pushing up towards the Tipperary 45, unimpeded now as he gets inside the 45, as he has to pass it off to the runner beside him, Jack Kerwin. He hand passed it forward, and now back out it goes to Fogarty on the edge of the 21. He's coming back out the field and recycles possession back out to the centre back. That's Owen Murtagh. Murtagh now, central position on the 45, hand pass it forward, bounces into the possession of Joe Prendergast, who's on as a temporary substitution. On the attack now is Dean Healy. A lovely little hand pass slips it in for Prendergast, who's just on the field temporarily. And he's got himself a point in his short stint on the field. Joe Prendergast has levelled the game here. 25 minutes gone, 1-3-6.
Yeah, a really good point. Unfortunately, I thought on that particular occasion, Tip stood off the Wicklow lads and just let them pass, and eventually they found a parcel of space in front of the goal. Granted, a decent point, and that's a good kick out as well.
Brilliant kick out there by Shane Garland finds his Kilsheelan Kilcash teammate Micheál Freeney just inside the 65, all out on his own. Jimmy Feehan, a lovely little body feint there, opens it up for himself for James Morris now, and now it's Paddy Feehan back moving well in the middle of the field. He finds Killian Butler. Always easy to identify Killian with the bright red boots over on the far side of the field as he brings it in field, looking for Paddy Creed now, who scored 3 of Tipperary's 6 points that we've got here today. 1 2-pointer and one just regular old 1-pointer as Stephen O'Brien hand passes it short to Killian Butler. Butler now looking to take a solo and maybe give it back to Stephen O'Brien, and he does so, and now it opens up for Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee now plays it into the full forward line and just bounces over the head of Joe Higgins. I'm not sure, was that the intended ball from Shawnee? It looked like he was having a shot but kind of got pushed as he was kicking it. It came in real low trajectory, bounced in front of Joe Higgins and just over his head and wide, as Jonathan Carlin comes back on now for Kieran Costello, or for, Joe Prendergast. Joe Prendergast can't really do much more in his temporary substitution stint.
Come on for a minute, get your point to go off again. Yeah, you're right, Paul. Shawnee O'Connor wasn't, that wasn't meant for Joe Higgins at all. Like Shawnee don't pass in those positions when he can shoot himself, but he just got a nudge as he was kicking it, and the ball, it took to a lower trajectory than he would have wanted.
Kick out goes high into the middle of the field. Micheál Freeney underneath it for Tipperary, and he knocks it down towards Charlie King, who's trying to get himself out of trouble. Gives it back to James Morris, and Morris does well to just get himself out of danger and plays a lovely ball forward now to Stephen O'Brien, who just keeps it in play on the sideline between the 45 and the 21. Stephen cuts in one way, cuts the other, kicks it high. Is it going to curl enough? It looks good from our angle, and over the bar it goes for Stephen O'Brien. Just the 1-pointer, but his second of the day, and tip back into a 1-point lead with 27 on the clock.
And that was really good battling. That was set up by really good battling by Charlie King and
James Morris.
James Morris on the Wicklow kick out. They never give up, and they turned it over. And a lovely little pass from James to Stephen. Still a lot of work to do from where he was, but a great point.
Yeah, cut in field, had kind of 2 men nearby him, but got his shot away quick enough and put it between the post and over the bar. This time Mark Jackson's kick out just goes over the head of one of the Tipperary defenders, one of the Tipperary forwards I should say, and goes into the possession of number 34 over there, who we'll have to presume is Jonathan Carlin, since he's come back on the field, presumably with a bit of blood on his number 10 jersey, so he's wearing number 34 out there now. But Wicklow have it free, and they've taken it in their own half back line, and they've worked it between the two 65s now, and now into the Tipperary half of the field. On this near side is number 12, that's Christopher O'Brien. He plays it infield now towards number 2, Tom Moran. 27 minutes 47 on the clock. 1-3 for Wicklow, 7 points for Tipperary. Your coverage here on Tipp FM with thanks to John Kennedy Motors, your main Toyota dealers in Clonmel. We say thanks to John and all the team in John Kennedy Motors. Wicklow now inside the Tipperary 14, but out in the far corner flag position. And coming out the field is Carlin. He hand passed it back out to Dean Healy, the captain of this team. Very good running forward, a real powerful kind of athlete now as he pokes a pass into the edge of the D and trying to get in around his man, but brilliantly had it flicked away from him was one of the Wicklow defenders. It looked like one of the Wicklow forwards was fouled there, but running over the ball was Dai Hogan, and Wicklow have it back. They've run themselves into trouble though, and they've had to kick it back out the field, and it's going to go out for a 45 with a real scrappy passage of play.
Yeah, scrappy passage. Owen O'Connell had done really well to turn over the ball, and I think Dahi then just ran over it and came back into the Wicklow player. But in fairness to Dahi, he recovered, got it back, and tipped it out for a 45. It'll be interesting to see now against this wind whether the keeper has the distance to reach it, even though at the moment it does look to have dropped just a little bit from what it was at the start of the game.
Yeah, Mark Jackson now putting the ball down. It does seem like the wind has died down a little bit, alright, so you would fancy him for distance. Let's see, has he got the accuracy? I can tell you he's got absolutely massive quads on him anyway, so he'll have plenty of power behind this as he steps back. Yellow jersey on him, blue shorts, goes through his swinging motion and puts the boot through it. It was wide from the minute he hit it, but certainly had the distance, and that is the first wide of the day for Wicklow. Tipperary have registered 5 in this first half. That's Wicklow's first. Exactly 29 minutes gone now, 1-3-7, well wide to the left. So kick out to come from Shane Garland, and he's got Stephen O'Brien and Micheál Freeney on this side of the field. He's going to go towards Joe Higgins though, and it just goes over Joe Higgins' head, but could break towards Dai Hogan and his man, but it just breaks in favour of Wicklow, and it's Tom Moran coming out with the ball. He's had a busy first half. The Wicklow number 2 gives it off to the Wicklow number 12 on its near side, Christopher O'Brien. Christopher now gives it off to the full forward, the goal scorer Kevin Quinn, and he hand passes across the edge of the 45 towards that massive man in the centre forward position, Pádraig O'Toole. He gives it off to another big man there. That's number 9, Jack Kerwin. And now Wicklow retain possession. So 29.5 minutes gone, 1-3 to 7. And pace of the play just slowed down in the last couple of minutes since that kind of blood sub.
Yeah, I suppose they had gone hard at it for about 20 minutes. There was always going to be a lull, but Tip again now. They're standing off their men here, and look.
Padraig O'Toole with the left boot, an awkward looking strike, but it looks like it has gone to the right and wide. He kind of kicked that like you'd see a goalkeeper kick a ball out of their hands long down the field in soccer, just threw it up and almost karate kicked it with his left boot, but it's gone across the face of the goals and wide. 1-3 to 7, Tip lead by 1.
It's just when Wicklow are getting through there, Paul, we're all dropping back to kind of cover up in front of the goal, but somebody has to, generally the rule is the nearest person to the man with the ball. It takes the man puts in the tackle, but we're not putting the tackle in the hole there the last few times.
Kick out went long. Stephen O'Brien won it and kicked it forward in towards Shawnee O'Connor, and Shawnee's battling for possession with the Wicklow defenders. No one can get the ball off the ground. Paddy Creedon does so, gets a hand pass away to Stephen O'Brien, and now Tip have possession back. It's Charlie King now outside the 45, gives it to Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee looking always to orchestrate a shooting opportunity if he can. This time he'll have to recycle possession to Paddy Creedon, and all the way back to Kieran Costello. Costello brings it forward now, gives it off to Killian Butler. Looks like he was going to get swung across his head there, but Dean Healy left his arm out of the way and didn't swing it, so Tip retained the ball, and it's James Morris now just outside the 45. He has the run of Charlie King to his left. He gives it to him. Charlie King looking to break out of a couple of tackles. He cuts one way, takes a nice tidy dummy, then hand passes it back out the field towards Stephen O'Brien and Killian Butler, and now it's Charlie King again. Plays it off to Dai Hogan. Dahi on this near side now, just inside the 45, looking to take his man on. He's an absolute whippet once he gets going, and he forces his man back and then opens up the space for a hand pass back out the field to Charlie King. 31.5 minutes gone, Tip leading 7 points to 1-3. And on the attack now for Tip, just outside the 65, is Stephen O'Brien looking to take on his man, and he's been dispossessed absolutely expertly by Dean Healy, who just timed the hand over Stephen O'Brien's shoulder perfectly and knocked the ball out of his possession. And now it is number 2, Tom Moran, who has the ball back for Wicklow, and now Tipperary have to rush their players back the field. That could leave a few spaces for Wicklow. They kick it forward, and it does break favourably towards number 34 there, Jonathan Carlin. He's fouled, and it's going to be a free in for Wicklow, and it looks to be in 2-pointer range, and Mark Jackson is going to make his way up the field. And Anthony, you could be critical of Stephen O'Brien for getting overturned like that, but it was just a quality intervention by Dean Healy in the middle of the field.
Stephen was left isolated. He had to take him on. Don't think he actually did that wrong, as you say. Like it was a brilliant bit of skill to
just get pure flush with the ball.
But, yeah, come back and just pure flush with the ball. Exactly, a brilliant bit of skill. But you know what? It was a soft enough free, but I'm kind of glad it was, because they had an overlap on us there.
Tip had a lot of bodies surging back the field, but they hadn't surged back the field at that point. So now it's a 2-point chance for Mark Jackson, the goalkeeper. He's left of centre angle, but still relatively in the middle third of the field if you're to break it up that way, but he's just outside the 40-metre arc. Favourable angle for a right-footed kicker, which he is. He gets a very easy stroke on that. It's come high off the post and landed around the edge of the square, and for the second time today it's Owen O'Connell who's the man waiting for the ball off the post, and now Tipperary have it back. So it remains 7 points for Tip, 1-3 for Wicklow, as Tip come out of the defence with the ball awkwardly, but winning it back now for Tipperary is Owen O'Connell, and he's done really well, and he takes the sole own goal. Sorry, it's Paddy Feehan. Feehan now cuts back in field to Charlie King, and Charlie, a clever hand pass, opens it up for Jack O'Neill now, and Jack O'Neill, our Finnan man, brings the ball forward over to the far side of the field now to Kieran Costello, and he's looking to take on what would have been his opposite number 10 in Jonathan Carlin, as he hand passes it infield towards Dai Hogan. Dai now in the corner flag position on the far side of the field, hand passes it back out to Jack O'Neill, and with 33 minutes 10 seconds gone here in Aughrim, it's Tipperary still leading this game 1-3 to 7. And now it's Paddy Feehan now up to the 45, looking for movement in front of him, gives it off to Charlie King, and now the two number 9s are pushing and shoving between Jack Kerwin and Paddy Feehan, but nothing major going on there, so play is continuing. And no inch given there, and Paddy Creedon has it now, opens it up towards Jack O'Neill on the far side of the field. Yeah, go ahead.
Paul left, a long ball into with Joe Higgins and Kieran Coughlin at the edge of the square there. I mean, it would be worth every now and again just chancing one long one like.
Well, here we go. It's landing in towards the edge of the square. Joe Higgins is there. It's fisted away from him. Only as far as a Wicklow man. Tip didn't have enough bodies maybe in around there to try and win that ball back, and now Wicklow have it through Jack Kerwin. He plays it in field, and Paddy Fian, like a train, comes in to intercept it. He did not slow down whatsoever, and a real brave piece of defending from Fian. And Tip have it now through Shawnee O'Connor. Lovely sidestep from the commercials man. Gives it off to Dai Hogan, and now Tipperary have it back through Micheál Freeney.
We seem to have lost contact with Aughrim. We'll be back to Paul in the next couple of seconds. I said very close to half-time in that game this afternoon. Just let you know as well what's happening in the other games today in the Tailteann Cup. At the moment, as you heard, a Tip just ahead against a Wicklow. Tipp FM of the weekend. We will be heading back to Aughrim very shortly. There's been a power cut, so there has, but by the looks of things, Paul, the electrician has been called and Bob the Builder has come in and sorted everything out, and we're back in action, are we?
We are back, Davin and listeners. So what happened there is just about 30 seconds before half-time, the power went in our unit here that's plugged into the wall in Aughrim. So myself and Anthony Shelly had to run across the field to the other press box to get set up there. As we did that, it was crowded over there, and we were told that the original press box we were in was fixed, so we had to run back over. So myself and Anthony Shelly have about as many KMs done as the Tipperary midfield and the Wicklow midfield, I'd say, at half-time there.
I hope somebody has a video of that, because I want to see it. I want to see it.
Pretty sight. The pretty sight.
We're going to have to get our breath back for the first 10 minutes of the second half, but both teams back out on the field. The score is as it was when our power did cut, so hopefully it stays for the rest of this second half. So we're a minute and a half into the second half. Tip playing from left to right. Tip on the attack through James Morris, and the score remains Tipperary 7 points, Wicklow 1-3. So thanks for Davin for keeping everything online back in base. But here we are back in Aughrim, and it's Killian Butler on the attack. Hand pass into the edge of the 21. Stephen O'Brien pops one off to Shawnee O'Connor. He's been pulled back, he's been fouled, he's playing with an advantage, and it will come back for the free. Brilliant play from Tipperary to start this second half. Good build-up play from Killian Butler, and in hand pass went into Stephen O'Brien, popped it off to Shawnee O'Connor. And now a free coming for Shawnee O'Connor right of the right-hand post, but on the 21-yard line. And we also saw a yellow card brandished, I believe, to Tom Moore there in the first 30 seconds of the second half. Yeah,
really good start from Tip. Joe Higgins punched on the throw-in. Paddy Creedon went low to get it, got a slap in the head for his troubles. That led to the yellow card, and Tip have dominated the ball for the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the second half. And then Shawnee O'Connor
over the bar from Shawnee O'Connor. That's his third point of the game. It was one of those ones that it curled past the post, but it already had gone between the posts as it curled in behind it. So now Tipperary with a 2-point lead, their biggest of the day. 37 minutes 58 seconds gone, 1-3 playing 8. Tip lead by 2. First kick out of the second half with the aid of the breeze comes from Mark Jackson, but it is a fine evening here in Wicklow now. The rain has gone away, so at least we had a dry field when we were running across it. But intercepting the kick out brilliantly there was Micheál Freeney, and pass it forward to Dahi Hogan. Dahi now has it, taking it on down the sideline on the 21, gets it off to Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee cutting one way, trying to get it back to Dahi Hogan. He does so. Dahi goes back out to Paddy Creedon. Paddy now recycles it back out to Paddy Fian. So Tipperary done really well there. Micheál Freeney intercepting that kick out on the 65.
Oh, he hit a red very early and got himself across, and getting there was only half the battle. It was still a brilliant catch from Micheál, so brilliant play from him to turn over that kick out.
And Killian Butler's been overturned, just loosely lost possession, and it fell to the ground, and he tried to keep his man away from the ball, but he done so illegally, so it's a free out to Wicklow, and probably their second or third kind of handy turnover that Wicklow have gotten from Tipperary. But Tipperary now back into a defensive shell as Wicklow bring the ball forward through Malachy Stone, their number 4. He cuts it across the middle of the field to number 11, Padraig O'Toole. He's that big centre forward as he hand passes it off now to Owen Darcy, the number 15. He brings it on to the 45 now, looking for the run of his captain Dean Healy. He goes for the 2-pointer, and that's going to drop into the hands of goalkeeper Shane Garland. He's going to get in around of the oncoming forward and get it off to Jimmy Fian. Jimmy now surveying his options and puts another lovely little body feint on his man to get in around him. And now here's Charlie King bringing the ball forward for Tipperary. And he gets in around 2 men and gives a nice hand pass to Paddy Creedon, who rides a heavy challenge. He's playing with an advantage now, but he has the head down, and here goes Paddy Creedon. He's up to the edge of the 21, gives a hand pass in behind towards Joe Higgins. Is it too much for Higgins? No, he's going to be able to keep it in play, but it's going to come back for the free. And that was a real look at the athleticism of Paddy Creedon, surging through the middle of the field. He's quick and he's also very powerful on the ball.
Once he gets turned face for goal, and goes and does runs, he's almost impossible to stop. But Jimmy Sheehan again, I know we've mentioned him a few times during the game, but he must have spent the year out doing a bit of Irish dance. Some of his footwork today is stuff that I'm watching Jimmy a long time and I haven't seen him do footwork like that, and he's done it 2 or 3 times today. It's been brilliant to watch.
Real subtle kind of body feints and just dropping the shoulder and going the other way. And now Tipper on the attack, and Paddy Feehan has found a bit of space on the 21. He'll try and get this on his left. Instead he gives it off to Paddy Creedon, and Paddy Creedon won't get an easier score today. A catch and shoot for Paddy Creedon just on the edge of the 21, and Tipperary 5 minutes into the second half now lead by 3.
Yeah, it's a really positive start and a really good play there from I think it was Kieran Costello, then on to Paddy Feehan, and back into Paddy Creedon, who's having a master game so far.
So Mark Jackson in the goals down to our right hand side. Tipperary playing from left to right in the black and navy jerseys, or sorry, the navy and blue jerseys you could say. And in the white jerseys are Wicklow. Ball into the middle of the field, just over the head of James Morris, but waiting in behind was Paddy Feehan, and now Stephen O'Brien has it. Looks like he might have got his arm pulled as he was releasing that hand pass. Play on, says the referee, and now Wicklow have overturned it, and there's a bit of space for Padraig O'Toole. His hand pass goes forward towards Owen Darcy. He gives it off to number 13 McGrainer on the wheel. He's been heavily challenged there and he's been overturned, but he's been fouled according to the referee, and it is going to be a free out for free in for Wicklow, and it's just inside the 40-metre arc. So it won't be a 2-pointer attempt, but it is going to be a chance for Wicklow to get their first score of the second half.
Yeah, we're probably lucky enough. He just I suppose good defending. We closed down the space, and the Wicklow corner forward just ran out of road. And Jimmy might have pulled the ball out of his hands, and that's what the free was for a finish. So
it's going to be left-footed, relatively central position, just on the edge of the arc, but inside it. It's gone straight over the bar from Oisin McGrainer. That's his second point of the game, and now the scoreboard reads 1-4 as we see a substitution for Tipperary, and it's Luke Boland coming on for Killian Butler. So Luke Boland, another man who's missed a lot of action through injury in the last couple of months, but he featured for Moyle Rovers in their Division 1 league success last weekend, and now he's back on the field for Tipperary.
Yeah, it's great to see Luke back. He as you said, he missed a few games through injury. A real strong runner with the ball, and against that wind we might need Luke's athleticism going up and down the field. I think that's actually a good move.
And plenty of experience as well for Luke. So here's the kick out coming now from Shane Garland down to our left hand side into this breeze. Hangs it up around the far 65. Tip get hands on it. Freeney trying to get onto the break. It's stuck out on the sideline. It's still on the ground. Joe Higgins trying to rescue it off the surface from Jack Curran, who just releases a brilliant hand pass to open it up for Oisin McGrainer. He has it flicked out of his hands brilliantly from Micheál Freeney, but it falls back towards the Wicklow man. Wicklow still in possession out on the sideline on the Tipperary 21, and now getting in behind the defence, and it could be a goal chance here as the hand passed across the edge of the square and just over the crossbar. I believe that was Kevin Quinn who just got in behind Jimmy Feehan. A lovely little move to get in behind. Feehan lost his footing, and Tipperary probably luckily enough, Anthony, to just escape by conceding a point there.
I'm glad he went for a point, because there was the chance of the hand pass across the goal to a player at the far stick that could have easily left for a goal, but I don't think he's seen him and just decided to go for the point himself.
Shane Garland, a risky enough kick out, but it falls into the hands of Jack O'Neill favourably on the sideline on the 45. He hand pass infield to James Morris. Lovely little move by James Morris to free himself up, and now he takes a solo, takes a bounce, and he takes himself past a couple of Wicklow players. He's up from 145 to the other. Hand pass goes into Shawnee O'Connor. Shawnee hand pass it back out to Charlie King. So 43 minutes gone here in Aughrim. It's 1-5 for Wicklow, 9 points for Tipperary. Your coverage here on Tipp FM with thanks to John Kennedy Motors, your main Toyota dealers in Clonmel. And now it's Micheál Freeney in possession for Tipperary, just outside the 45. Big, powerful athlete, now still a young man, part of that under-20 panel with Niall Fitzgerald a couple of years ago, as was Dai Hogan, and they're combining here on this near flank. And back to Paddy Creedon. Creedon back to Dai Hogan. Dai Hogan with a lovely little dummy to get his man off the feet. He gets in around him and gives a hand pass out to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill spreads it now to Luke Boland. The Moyle Rovers man has green grass in front of him to bring it up to the edge of the 21 and maybe pop it off to a shooter if he can. He gives a poor hand pass though into the middle of the field, and Wicklow have got it as Boland puts the tackle back on. The Wicklow man coming out, he's fouled him, and it's going to be a free out for Wicklow, and they take it straight away and kick a brilliant pass into the middle of the field. And now the white jerseys are surging forward, and Tipperary are at 6s and 7s, but Jimmy Feehan with a massive shoulder on number 15. It looked like it was straight into the chest, but he's protesting his innocence, and God, you could feel that up here in the press box as he was turning, catching the ball. Jimmy Feehan, the last fella you'd want to line you up like that, runs straight into the Wicklow man, and he is down, and it could be a card coming for Jimmy Feehan, but it's going to be one of those ones. I think it knocked the wind out of us up here in the press box, never mind the Wicklow player.
As big a hit as you'll see, and then he scored. He had him lined up from 10 yards away, and as the ball came to him, just his turn, he might just have got him in the front. It might have been shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And there's the ref he's speaking to Paddy there now, but say he's going to. He'll be talking to Jimmy. I'll say Jimmy in a second, but. Who's number
Owen Darcy, number 15. He's back up to his feet, thankfully, but he's certainly shook up from that.
I shook up from it myself, Paul. It was
so the referee has called over Jimmy Feehan. And it was funny, I was having a conversation with some of the Tipperary backroom team before the game, and we were just talking about maybe they were talking about how sometimes Tip had been open in the last few games, and that I had mentioned at least if someone is running down the middle of Tipperary today and Jimmy is there, something like that might happen, and that's exactly what's happened here, and it's a yellow card for Jimmy Feehan.
It is a yellow, and it's unfortunate. It was just slightly a split second out, but it was a hit that had to be done, Paul, because they were going to be in for a goal if Jimmy doesn't line him up there. There's one more pass on, and it could have been a goal chance. So to come away with just they'll tip this one over the bar and come away with a point is probably it was probably worth the yellow.
So Ushy McGrainer makes no mistake from that free just inside the edge of the old D, and now we're level here in Aughrim with 44 minutes 34 seconds on the clock. 1-6 for Wicklow, 9 points for Tipperary, and that is a hit you will remember if you're in Echelon Park here in Aughrim today. So here's Shane Garland now. He's got the blue jersey on, blue boots on him as well to match, and he's taken this kick out down to our left hand side, the clubhouse end here in Wicklow in Aughrim. If you've been here before, right booted off the tee, high into the middle of the field, lots of backspin on it, hanging into the middle of the field, and it's Tipperary who've won it back. It looked like it was definitely going to be a Wicklow ball, but Charlie King recycles possession and plays it forward now towards Paddy Creedon. He goes on a run, he's solo now, looking for options in front of him. He's run himself into a little bit of trouble, he needs support, and he has a true Paddy Feehan. Paddy now will recycle possession across the edge of the Wicklow 65 towards James Morris, and his hand pass bounces in front of Joe Higgins. I haven't seen too much of Joe today so far. He's been so influential in his debut year with the team, and he gets it now, gives it off to Dahi Hogan. Dahi jinks one way, jinks the other, and back it goes to James Morris as Tip look to just secure possession and build this attack through Luke Boland now on this near side. The wind still howling into the faces of the Tipperary players as they play up the field into this breeze. 45 minutes 45 seconds on the clock, and we're level 1-6-9. The goal came in the first half from Wicklow full forward Kevin Quinn, and Tipperary on the attack now through James Morris, gets it off to Shawnee O'Connor. Hint of a third man tackle there, hint of a tackle on Shawnee O'Connor, and I think the referee knew that it probably should have been a free for Wicklow. It definitely should have been a free for Tipperary after that, so he's just let play continue, and now the ball has been kicked up the field, and Shane Garland is there for Tipperary. It's gone in behind him, and it's going to go in for line ball in for Wicklow. Shane Garland was 40 yards from his goals. Looked like he was going to intercept the pass. He missed it. Then it went in between Kevin Quinn, the full forward, and the fullback Owen O'Connell out on the sideline. Rolled out over the sideline. Shawnee O'Connor still down receiving attention at the other end of the field.
Yeah, it was definitely a free on Sean O'Connor, but as you said, I think it was a free on the Wicklow player before that as well, so the ball cancelled each other out.
And now Wicklow look like they might be able to kick a point for the lead, and that has gone over the bar. Oh, I'm not too sure about that. That certainly looked wide from our vantage point, and it looked well wide. And the umpire ran towards the flag to pick it up, and
it's hard to believe that could have been a point, Paul. Even where you see where the ball landed.
The ball landed 30 yards to the right of the post, and it was shot from an acute angle, but it wouldn't have been curling in that way.
No, you couldn't. No.
Oh, that's an incredible one, but it's been given for Kevin Quinn, and that's the lead now for Wicklow 1-7-9. Tipperary need to respond here as the kick out bounces long into the middle of the field. Trying to get on it there is Stephen O'Brien. Tip of bodies there, and Charlie King is the man to get it off the surface. He's got lots of bodies around him. He's fouled though, wins the free, and now Tip trying to get the ball back, and they haven't been given it back. And
should be a 50 yards here. It doesn't look like he's going to give it, but it should be, because
Jimmy Feehan was trying to wrestle it off the Wicklow man. Wicklow man threw himself down to the ground, and Jimmy is protesting with the referee. So it's going to be a free out for Tipperary just inside the 65. Jimmy Feehan has no real options on. He's going to put it into a little bit of space for James Morris, and James Morris, it's a brilliant ball from Jimmy Feehan, gets to James Morris now, and now Paddy Creedon just takes a loose touch, but it's kicked out of danger from the Wicklow defender, and that's going to be a 45 for Tipperary.
Such a pity that the ball didn't hop up the way Paddy wanted it to hop up. It kind of was dead on the ground, and he kind of lost control of it then when he had to bend down for it, but he would have been straight through and goal if it had. It was a brilliant free again from Jimmy Feehan, because I didn't see any pass on.
No.
Wicklow had really pushed up on us, and a great run from James Morris as well to make space.
It's going to be really difficult. 45 for Stephen O'Brien. He's right out on the sideline just in front of us here, down to our right hand side, into the breeze, and an angle that doesn't favour right-footed kicker, so he's going to have to try and just missile this through the air. He's connected with it well. It's going to be landing around the edge of the square, and the referee has spotted a square ball, I think, so it's going to be a free out for Wicklow on the edge of their own square.
Yeah, I think we had 2 or 3, to be fair. I think there was 2 or 3 of us inside in the square when that ball arrived in.
So just over 20 minutes to go. It's a 1-point game. Wicklow in the lead, 1-7-9 points, 49 minutes on the clock here. Wicklow on the attack through their centre-back, Owen Murtagh. His hand pass forward to big Padraig O'Toole is fumbled by the big man, but he retains possession and plays a short hand pass back to number 2, Tom Moore, and he sprays the play across to the far side of the field. Shawnee O'Connor is back and moving around the field. He's half limping though between the two 65s at the minute, but he's able to continue, as on the attack now is number 4, Malachy Stone for Wicklow, up to the edge of the 45, gives it back to Dean Healy. He goes for a 2-pointer. It's going to land another one into the breadbasket of Shane Garland, and Oisin McConville, the Wicklow manager, won't be happy. That's about the 3rd or 4th time in this game that's happened.
They have never really connected with any of those 2-pointers. They only got...
Oh, God, a real loose pass across the edge, and now it's surely a goal chance for big Padraig O'Toole. Saved by the goalkeeper, and it deflects back into his hands. Brilliant goalkeeping by Shane Garland. A loose ball played across towards Jimmy Feehan. He had it intercepted in front of him. It was a 3-on-1 for Wicklow, and big Padraig O'Toole was just a little bit clumsy in possession, trying to get it off the ground, couldn't get it off the surface, tried to poke it past the goalkeeper from close range. A save with the foot of Shane Garland keeps it out of the back of the net. It deflected then off the man, and a lovely ball played forward by Shawnee O'Connor. Paddy Feehan could be in, and he runs straight into the goalkeeper, Mark Jackson. It's going to be a free out for Wicklow, and in fairness to Paddy Feehan, he put the shoulder straight through the chest of the goalkeeper, but the temperature here in Aughrim has certainly raised in the last few moments. As I was saying, Padraig O'Toole's effort deflected off the goalkeeper, back off Padraig O'Toole and back into the hands of Shane Garland, who cleared his lines. Then it was a Shawnee O'Connor kick into the full forward line, blocked down out over the sideline. He picked it up straight away and played a peach of a pass with the outside of his right boot in towards Paddy Feehan, who was in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, who was way off his line, and he just ran through the goalkeeper illegally so, and it's a free out to Wicklow. But what a passage of play, Anthony.
Yeah, it was unreal. A really good save from Shane Garland, and a little bit of luck with the second ball.
And now it's a 2-pointer for the full forward Kevin Quinn, and what a bit of momentum that has given the home side here. 51 minutes gone, it's 1-9 points now, and that's a huge moment in the game.
He doesn't make too many mistakes in a game, but that time he didn't even try to go around the keeper. Like he tried to go through him, and it was a definite.
He probably didn't even have time to react. Paddy Feehan, when he got the ball, the goalkeeper was right on him, and he just ran, put the shoulder down straight into his chest, and if he did try and get around him, he was likely going to be fouled, and you're looking at black card territory then. But alas, it's a 3-point game now. Wicklow in the lead, 1-9. Shane Garland's kick out goes high into the sky and brilliantly knocked down by Paddy Feehan towards Stephen O'Brien. Stephen O'Brien releases a hand pass forward towards Paddy Creedon. Paddy Creedon has James Morris busting along inside him. James Morris has it now. He's up to the 21. There's green grass in front of him. He has it now. He's just trying to get it off the surface. It's kicked away by Dai Hogan towards Micheál Freeney. Freeney now trying to get a shot away. He's under a lot of pressure. He's hit late, and it's going to be a free if it comes back for the advantage, which it will. And a free for Tipperary on the edge of the D. A late hit there on Micheál Freeney, but Tipperary attacking far quicker there, and James Morris busting along, opened it all up for Tip.
How many times has he done that today, James Morris? He's just been, cutting through the middle all the time. It's just a pity that nobody, like James is not going to be the finisher, so it's just a pity that nobody is coming off the shoulder, that he can pop to. A brilliant move, when possession looked to be lost, a brilliant little bit of play, a bit of soccer from Dahi Hogan to retain possession, and now we got a free. I thought it should have been a yellow card for the
It
foul.
was a yellow card there for Dean Healy,
I didn't see him give it to him, but it was yellow card all day long for the foul on Micheál Freeney.
So here's Shawnee O'Connor, central position on the edge of the D, going through his routine now, kicking it out of his hands. Kicks it well. Is it accurate? Umpire having a good look. It's just gone to the right and wide though. That's not what Tipperary wanted. We need to be getting some scores now with 52 minutes 25 seconds on the clock. We see a Tipperary substitution, and it is number 12 Owen Craddock coming on for Dahi Hogan. So on comes the Holy Cross Ballycal man. Off goes the St. Patrick's man, as Tipperary maybe going for some size in these last 20 minutes. Here's the kick out coming from Mark Jackson. Down to our right hand side, looking to just float one into the middle of the field. It's at the shins of one of his teammates there, but the ball is broken in around the middle of the field, and Paddy Fian does really well to flick it away. It's still on the ground though, and it's been retained by Wicklow. They got away with that one, and now a loose hand pass towards the corner back, who deals with it really well after the challenge of Paddy Creedon come in, and now Wicklow have a bit of space through Christopher O'Brien. Brilliant atmosphere here in Aughrim. You mightn't be able to hear it as clearly as you normally would. We're in a kind of a glass box here at the back of the stand, but there's a fine crowd here, and all the umbrellas have been put away on the far side as the rain has subsided, but the wind is still here, and it's at the backs of Wicklow as they go on the attack. Ball into the full forward line. Jimmy Fian is first to it, and he's had it flicked away from him, but he wins it back, and now the ball is stuck on the ground as Jimmy Fian just leaves it because he doesn't want to foul his man, and it's been won back there by Owen Craddock, who's just on the field. Has he been fouled? It's real loose, scrappy stuff over there. There's bodies falling to the ground. Tipperary have won it back, and now it's Kieran Costello trying to get down. It looks like he might have been pulled down. Away comes Tipperary with the ball though. Joe Higgins has it. He has it knocked out of his hands. It's real attritional stuff in the middle of the field, and Joe Higgins does really well to recycle possession, and now Tipperary having in a bit of space through Micheál Freeney between the two 65s now down in front of us. The big Kilsheelan man gives a hand pass inside. No, he fakes it. Now he's looking for support. He gets in around the defence. Hand pass goes forward to Paddy Creedon. It's all very loose and unstructured in the last couple of moments, but Tipperary have just slowed things down through Paddy Creedon on the far side of the field, and they'll retain possession. 54 minutes gone. Wicklow 1-9, Tipperary 9 points. Remember, Wicklow beat Tip by 14 points in the league just 3 months ago. It was over at half-time. This game is certainly well and truly on as we reach the final quarter of the game. Jack O'Neill on this near side kicks a pass, bouncing in front of Charlie King, who's been on so many possessions, has the Ballina man, as he crosses the 45 and gives a hand pass off. I think all the players, Anthony, are just almost getting their breath back.
Yeah, that was a really hectic piece of play there for 2 or 3 minutes. Scrappy, but in fairness, for Tip to end up in possession with the ball, a lot of it was down to real hard work by Kieran Costello there. That when everybody seemed to be just pretending to, or intent on standing around the ball, Kieran just took control, went down over it, and Tip have a possession since. Really good play from Kieran.
Lovely hand pass there by Shawnee O'Connor, finds Joe Higgins. Joe now gets a hand pass out to Kieran Costello. The big Thurles man hand passes across the edge of the 45 to Luke Boland, and he's urged to hand pass it one more time to Owen Craddock. Craddock now of Holy Cross Ballycal gives it off to his mid-Tipperary comrade in Paddy Creedon, and now it's down to South Tip for Jack O'Neill, and back to Kieran Costello now. Costello on this near side, looking for options. He has the run of Shawnee O'Connor. Wicklow defending well now as Tipperary poking and probing, looking to find the gaps in this defence and maybe try and get a shot on goal. Spread across to the far side of field again to Luke Boland. Squares his man up, takes a few solos in front of him. Hand pass it forward to Owen Craddock now. Has a bit of space to bring this ball forward. Charlie King has it now. He's stuck though in the corner flag position, so he has to work his way back out, and Wicklow defending diligently at the moment, Anthony. Yeah,
they're and even in the first half, like, we only got 2 shots for 2 pointers in the first half, like, because they defend really well around the edge of the arc. They don't give you a chance.
And now here's Shawnee O'Connor looking to open it up for Jack O'Neill. O'Neill now just loses footing, but gets a hand pass away now for Kieran Costello. Back to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill's going to have a goal, and it's just a real cornerback swing of the foot by the cornerback. He was on the 21, a bit of space right of the goals, but he never looked too confident having a crack at that, and it's gone to the right and wide.
No, I think Jack seen the headlines here. It should have went back to Kieran Costello, who, after giving him the pass, had made a good run for the return. Kieran would have been coming in on his left foot from there. The ball should have went back to Kieran instead of Jack took a real low percentage shot, and sure, it was wide. It was well wide from the minute he left his foot.
So kick out coming. There was a substitution there for Wicklow. Their midfielder Jack Kerwin, one of those big men we talked about. He's replaced by number 17 Mark Kenny. So kick out come from Mark Jackson. Just a 3-point game. 56 minutes 21 seconds on the clock. Mark Jackson looking to poke it out to the full-back, who, in fairness to Mark Jackson, it was straight into the face of the full-back, but he just left it through his hands, but managed to recover. And now Wicklow have worked it out of defence and gotten it all the way up to the Tipperary 45 in a flash. And now there's a run in behind the Tipperary defence for Tom Moore in the corner back. He hand passed it forward. It should be a shooting opportunity coming for the left foot of Kevin Quinn. No, it's the man who's just on the field, Mark Kenny. And he's got Wicklow into a 4-point lead now, 110 to 9 points, and it was all so quick. A real training ground move there from Wicklow.
Yeah, really. Sometimes you can't do anything about it. Balls move quick. You never got a chance to turn it over. A really good point from Wicklow.
Kick out coming from Shane Garland, high into the middle of the field on the far side. Tip get hands to it, but it's broken Wicklow's way. And it's Wicklow now who retain possession. It was their centre-back, Owen Murtagh, who got it off the deck. And now they have two spare men on this near side of the field. And one of them is number 12, Christopher O'Brien. And he has time and space now to bring this inside the 45 and try and get in around the Tipperary defenders. He has it now. He still has it. He's cutting inside. He gets it off to number 15, Owen Darcy. Owen Darcy now gets it, plays a nice 1-2, gets in around a couple of defenders. He's going to get a shot away with his left boot. It's going to drop short. It's going to come back for the free. He was the recipient of a few loose fists coming in, trying to knock the ball away from him. And Wicklow just seem to be turning the screw a little bit now, Anthony.
Yeah, they seem to have taken control there in the last two or 3 minutes, and worryingly, they're beginning to move the ball really well. They're not taking any touches, not giving you a chance, and they've been very accurate with their hand passing and their kick passing, in the last few minutes. So. This isn't going to be another point which will stretch it out to a 5-point lead.
Yeah, it's just on the edge of the 21 and relatively central, or left of centre anyway, but favourable position for a right-footed kicker. And Owen Darcy makes no mistake about that. That's just his first point of the game. He's shaken himself off since that collision with Jimmy Feehan. And now it is looking at the scoreboard, 58 minutes 28 seconds gone. Wicklow 111, Tipperary 9 points. And we're probably going to need a couple of 2-pointers or a green flag, or at least a score in the next few minutes to get back into this one. It'll have to be
a green one, Paul, because against that wind is going to be very, the chance of getting a 2-pointer are slim enough. So definitely to get back into it, I think we'll need a green one. And that's a poor kick out.
Poor kick out from Shane Garland, goes straight to a Wicklow man in the middle of the field. And now Garland does actually really well there as a ball played into the full forward line. And he went to field it and just knew that it would go wide if he left it, so he left it off, and it has gone wide, so he's going to get another go at the kick out. And he is going to go quick out to the left wing back position, where Charlie King has it now for Tipperary. He turns and he takes his man on. There's nothing really on, really well, so he just has to run. And luckily for Charlie, he can run. And now Tipperary have retained possession quite well, actually. And it's Luke Boland now who has it between the two 65s. He might just put the head down, and he does. Brings it up to the 45 to Paddy Creedon. A lovely little spin by the Thurles man. Gets in behind a couple of defenders. Paddy Creedon with the right boot kicks it high. And Paddy Creedon has got another brilliant score for the Thurles man. That's his 5th point of the day. And one of them has been as good as the other.
Yeah, that was a brilliant point from Paddy, but brilliant play from Charlie King from taking the kick out. He looked like he was after being closed down, and a fabulous move from Tip. I was only 2 minutes ago I was talking about how quickly Wicklow moved the ball. That's exactly what Tip did in that move. Never give the Wicklow a chance to turn it over. A super score from Paddy at the end of it.
So 60 minutes on the clock. This is a lovely kick out from Mark Jackson. Finds Mike Kenny in the middle of the field. He just loses possession, and Paddy Feehan has collided very awkwardly in the middle of the field with the big number 11 Pádraig O'Toole. He was just sliding to try and get the ball off the surface, and he collided with the hip of the very tall 6'7" centre forward. So he's just shaken up a little bit. But the clock is 60 minutes 7 seconds with time cut off now. It's going to be an indirect free for Wicklow, but 111 to 10 points. Anthony, if you had offered the Tipperary players a 4-point deficit with 10 minutes to go, considering their last meeting against Wicklow, they might have taken that, and this game is still there for the taking.
You might have taken it. I was hopeful enough coming down today, and I'm still haven't given up.
Yeah.
It's kind of where where I've expected our performance to be, and it has been really, really good. And we haven't taken a backward step really, and it's been really good. Right, we brought our luck in the first half. They hit the post twice, but remember Stephen O'Brien, Jackson pulled off a brilliant save from Stephen O'Brien as well. So these things even themselves out. But it's been a really positive display from Tipperary, I would say, and I think 4 points is the maximum that Wicklow could be ahead at this stage.
And Wicklow in possession of the ball now, and Paddy Feehan is back up and able to continue, thankfully. So Wicklow in possession inside the 45 now through their full forward Kevin Quinn. He's going to go for a 2-pointer. He's kicked it really high, hoping the wind will take it there, and the wind has brought it over the crossbar, just landing on top of the net. Kevin Quinn has put Wicklow now into a 6-point lead, and that is a massive score, Anthony. He's got 1-6 now here tonight.
Yeah, and he played very well against us last day. I think his uncle is Wicklow's only All-Star, Kevin Quinn, and we stood off and give him a chance. Like the difference between the way Wicklow defended the arc and the way we defended it there was a huge difference. We needed to push up on him because he was a shooter.
And Wicklow have the ball back now, and it's just looking like Wicklow might be able to push for home now. 61.5 minutes gone, 113 to 10 points. Your coverage here on Tipp FM is with thanks, of course, to John Kennedy Motors, your main Toyota dealers in Clonmel. Mark Kenny on the ball, trying to get in around Jimmy Feehan down the end line. He's in behind him. Hand pass goes across the edge of the square, but a Tipperary recovering defender does really well to just get the slightest of flicks on it. It was Owen O'Connell, and that knocked it towards the Tipperary goalkeeper. So Tipperary are on the attack now. Ball played forward towards Shawnee O'Connor, who turns his man really well. Goes out over the sideline. Line ball in for Tipperary on the 65. 113 to 10 points. Substitution, I think, coming the way of Wicklow. It's number 11, Padraig O'Toole, and he's coming off, and Keane Deering, number 18, is coming on.
Yeah, really vital interception there by
so Owen Craddock is being replaced, it looks like. And that was what the so number 19 Christopher O'Brien is going off for number 19 Joe Prendergast. I think the PA just might have announced the wrong name. He announced number 12 from Tipperary rather than number 12 from Wicklow. So Owen Craddock is still on the field. Of course, he only introduced a few minutes ago. So
we were just saying there that a really vital interception by Owen O'Connell there, because it looked like Wicklow were in for a goal. So great defending. Clever
1-2 from the sideline ball between Shawnee O'Connor and Paddy Feehan, and now Paddy Creedon has it on a bit of space on the edge of the 40-metre arc. He plays it forward to James Morris. Now could be a goal chance for Tipperary. Oh, it's saved by the goalkeeper. I think it might have fell to Jack O'Neill, who was the man who was surging forward. Pulled off a brilliant save from the goalkeeper, put his body on the line, knocks it out for a 45. And Jack O'Neill, always willing to get up the field, Anthony, but you probably would have preferred one of your forwards up there for the finishing touch.
Yeah, was it Jack? I thought it was actually Owen Craddock.
I thought, is that not? Yeah, whoever it was, anyway.
Yeah.
It's
but either way, it was a brilliant save.
Yeah.
I don't think they did anything wrong. Like, we'll give credit to whether it was the
just made himself so big. Yeah, Mark Jackson in the goals. So it's a 45 coming for Stephen O'Brien's central position, and with just over 7 minutes to go and down by 6. You'd really feel Tipperary need this one to sail between the posts and over the bar, or under the bar even, would even be even better. But here we go from Stephen. Gets a nice connection on it. It's flirting with the left posts, and it's just batted away by one of the defenders. And fortunately, it's for Wicklow, it's batted away towards another Wicklow defender who just loses possession right on the end line. And Owen Craddock has won it back brilliantly for Tipperary. Gets a hand pass away. The ball has just been flicked away. It's a bit volleyball in there, and it's fallen the way of Wicklow as Tipperary put on the squeeze. They're trying their best to overturn Wicklow. But Wicklow fortunate there to get away with that one, as a couple of mistakes from defenders weren't punished from Tipperary. And now Johnny Carolyn has it back for Wicklow between the two 65s. Jack O'Neill puts a tackle in on his man, forces him back, and Padraig O'Toole is still on the field. Actually, I thought it was announced that he was substituted, but he's gone on the run now, the big man, and with his left boot he's put it over the bar. He's stayed out on the field and he's put it over the bar, has Padraig O'Toole. And that now could just be that 114 to 10 points with 64 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's hard to see a way back now.
I think the substitution might have been read out wrong. I think it might have been Micheál Freeney and off for Dara Brennan.
For Dara Brennan, exactly. Yeah. Just in the spot of Dara there now. But they definitely did call Owen Craddock over the PA.
And they definitely called Padraig O'Toole as well. And kick out has gone long and just through the hands of a Tipperary man as Wicklow have it now. and there's a lot of tired bodies out there, and one of Tipperary man is cramping up there, Joe Higgins, but Tipperary have won it back, and it's played into the full forward line towards Dara Brennan. He just catched it, lets it fall behind him, looks like he might have been fouled. Play on, says the referee, as Brennan retains possession. Tipperary need to get scores quick, and they might need to just lob it into the edge of the square at this stage or go for 2-pointers. Here's James Morris, always willing to take his men on, and he gives it off now to Kieran Costello. Costello pops it back to James Morris. Tipperary have no shooters around the edge of the 45, though. James Morris is trying to orchestrate the troops to come over, and now he's trying to dictate for Paddy Creedon to maybe lob the ball into the edge of the square. Instead, it's played now towards Owen O'Connell. Owen O'Connell's going to take it on a run, pops it off towards Dara Brennan. Lovely footwork from Dara Brennan to try and get in around a couple of defenders. Gets a hand pass off to Shawnee O'Connor, who's on the edge of the 21. Shawnee's going to shoot. Oh, it's stopped on the line by a defender. It's going to come back for the free, and it went past the goalkeeper, but there was a defender on the line who just knocked it away with his foot, I believe, and it's going to be a free for Tipperary on the edge of the 21. So if we could get this over the bar, back to a 6-point game. Another Wicklow substitution coming up. 65 minutes 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, it was a really good effort from Sean, wasn't it?
It's number 18 now, Keane Deering. He's on the field eventually. We called him out earlier, but he's on now for number 6, Owen Murta. So
in normal circumstances, Sean would have kicked that over the bar, but we needed a goal, and it was a really good effort, and just unfortunate that the defender was on the line because he was heading to nestle in the bottom corner.
Yeah, the goalie made a diving effort to try and keep it out low to his right hand side, but it bypassed him, and it was cleared off the line by defender. Shawnee O'Connor has put that free over the bar. So 4.5 minutes to go, 114 playing 11 points. And remember, the Hooter system is in play here, so you're not going to see any extra time. It's going to be bang on 70 minutes. So Mark Jackson is in no rush to take this kick out, but Tipperary will need to win this kick out, you think, and get a score as quickly as they can. So Mark Jackson's certainly taking his time over this. And now he puts the boot through it high into the middle of the field. Owen O'Connell is underneath it for Tipperary, and it's just deflected in front of him by one Wicklow man to another. And now Wicklow have opened up in behind the Tipperary defence all the way up to the edge of the 14, and it's Paddy Creedon, I think, back there to knock it away. No, it was Owen O'Connell who made his way all the way back to knock it away from the Wicklow man. And Wicklow are going to go for Johnny Carlin. He looks like he's connected with that brilliantly, and that's his first score of the game, and a really good one too. And I think that's going to be that now. 66.5 minutes gone, 115 to 11.
That's it. The crowd are beginning to. The crowd certainly think, the Wicklow crowd certainly think that's it anyway. If you starting to head away, but just another score from a Wicklow kick out, like, and that's why I was saying earlier on, maybe we would have been better off to concede it and just decommission that weapon of his that he has with that right foot.
And it looks like Dara O'Connor is on the field for Joe Higgins and a substitution for Tipperary. And I believe that's a debut for Dara O'Connor, younger brother of Shawnee.
Yeah, it is, and a fine player he is too. Like, more of a ball player than Shawnee. He can see a pass, and he's definitely another player that's only 21 years of age, so definitely a player for the future. Yeah,
he had a big partnership with Joe Higgins in the middle of the field for the under-20s last year. So here's this long kick out from Shane Garland. It bounces down between a few, and it's Owen Craddock who's hungriest to get the ball off the surface, and he wins a free for Tipperary. But with 66 minutes 42 seconds now, it's 115 for Wicklow, 11 points for Tipperary. Tip need green flags, and they need them very, very quickly. Here's Kieran Costello now on the attack for Tipperary on this near side, and he's looking to just try and orchestrate a bit of space, and gets it off now towards Dara Brennan. Brennan now cuts one way, cuts the other, and he's been seen to give it back towards Shawnee O'Connor now. Shawnee might try and take on his man and have a pop, and Tipper going the wrong way here as Kieran Costello is just going to pump one into the edge of the square. It's a nice ball in there. It's bounced around towards Stephen O'Brien. He's just back to goals. He's too far away from the goals, though. Ball's still on the ground. It's still there, and it is a Wicklow defender coming out with it, but he can't get past Jack O'Neill. Brilliant defending, and it's going to come back for an earlier free. Is it? No, it's been touched on the ground. What a piece of play that was from Jack O'Neill to just dispossess his man.
Yeah.
And now it's a free in for Tipperary on the 21, and Shawnee O'Connor is looking to take it quickly.
Yeah, forced to turn it over. That, Jack, in fairness, Jack never gave up on it, and just would have liked to have seen Paul. More of that. Yeah. Like, it caused mayhem in there, but unfortunately we never really got players in. We had very little depth in our play today. We had loads of width, and we were over and back, but too often there was actually nobody inside the square that it would have allowed us to hit in that high ball.
So Tipper bringing on Emmett Maloney. He's coming on for Charlie King, and Charlie King just got through so much work there today, and he's had a fine debut campaign.
He's had a brilliant year, and I'd say his GPS readings are off the charts tonight. He's covered every blade of grass.
Conor Fee is on for Owen Darcy, who is able to leave the field on his own accord after being absolutely broke up by a shoulder from Jimmy Feehan earlier in this half, but he leaves the field with a point to his name. And with 2 minutes to go now, it's 115 to 12 points. Kick out to come from Mark Jackson. It would be miracle stuff at this point now for Tipperary. Again, remember, it will be finished on 70 minutes exactly. And Owen O'Connell rises high. And no, it was Paddy Feehan actually. He rose high and had the ball in his possession but lost. But Paddy Creedon has intercepted. Paddy Creedon's had a fine game here today. He's completely bottled up though, and he gets overturned, and away comes Wicklow. And they've got it forward now through to Padraig O'Toole. And all out on his own now is number 19. He's going to give it back to Padraig O'Toole, and they might just try and see out the clock now. 68 and a half minutes gone. So it looks like Tipperary's season for 2026 could be coming to an end here in Aughrim. And Niall Fitzgerald's first year in charge of the team, and a win in the Tailteann Cup matched with a defeat against Antrim last time out, and now it looks like it could be a defeat against Wicklow here. And Wicklow have opened it up now on the edge of the 45 for Padraig O'Toole. The big man cuts one way, cuts the other, kicks it with his left, and he's hit that to the right and wide. A poor effort, it must be said there, by the big man. So, kick out coming for Shane Garland.
Less than a minute left now, Paul, until the Hoosiers. It'd be great to see us just get our hands on this ball and maybe get the final score of the game.
Kick out goes high to the far side of the field. It's batted down by Stephen O'Brien, and it's just gone out over the sideline. Too quick for Emmett Maloney to keep it in play. And we're just counting down the seconds now. 69 minutes, 29 seconds gone. 115 for Wicklow, 12 points for Tipperary. And now line ball on the far side of the field finds their midfielder Dean Healy. Healy now gives it back to the man who took the line ball, Kevin Quinn. Quinn now has it and plays it across the edge of the 65 to the fullback, and now there's loads of space for number 20 who's just on the field, Liam O'Neill. He's going to have a go at a two-pointer. He's kicked it very well, but he's pulled it, has he? He's pulled it to the left and wide, but the umpire has ran over for the two-pointer for it to wave the flag, and that's
I'm not sure that umpire knows what a wide is.
Yeah. That's the last score of the game. It's finished 117 to 12 points. That's their second score that was definitely wide. There's some Wicklow supporters here beside us, and they put their hands on their heads when he kicked it, and the umpire sprinted over to one side to be beside his other umpire, and he sprinted back to pick up the red flag straight away.
He's very dramatic. He's very dramatic, but he's been run twice like the first one. Whatever about excuse for the second one, and it was definitely wide. The first one looked to be 10 yards wide.
Yeah.
And he sprinted for the white flag, but overall, Paul, probably a disappointing result in ways, but they had a go, and just when they look back on it, there's a few things, a few silly errors. We give away the ball cheaply, but overall, I think I'll look back on this on this year, and it was a really good first year. He came in difficult circumstances. This is probably the start of the year where he would have been hoping to get to as a minimum, and anything after today would have been a bonus.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we didn't get the bonus, but it's been a real good, solid year. So fair play to everybody involved.
Yeah, you look at it, 8 points in the league, a win in the Tailteann Cup, a win in the Munster Championship, and you probably look at that as par at the very minimum for this Tipperary group of players who are young and who are developing and who are under a new manager in Niall Fitzgerald. But they've come here to Aughrim and they've been beaten by Wicklow. 117 to 12 points was the full-time score here. So the end of the road for this Tipperary team in 2026. Wicklow will go into the hat for the quarter-final draw, and that will be on that quarter-final will be next week, and if they're to win that, a semi-final will be the weekend after, so they could have a couple of busy weekends to go to this Wicklow team, of course, with Oisin McConville in charge of them. But for Tipperary, that's the end of the road now. The club championship will take centre stage in the county for both the senior footballers and senior hurlers around Tipperary, but that is the end of the road. So Anthony, just in general, as you said, lots of positives to take from the year. A lot of young players coming through, the likes of Jack O'Neill, Owen O'Connell. I know Mark Corcoran didn't feature today, but himself, James Morris had a huge year, Charlie King, Joe Higgins. So I'm looking down through the team, and a lot of young players who've had a lot of game time that they'll grow and develop from.
Yeah, some of them, I suppose, are their second year in there now. I think James Morris, who missed all last year with injury, has been absolutely, he's been my player of the year for Tip this year. He's been outstanding in every game. But Joe Higgins has to get a mention.
Yeah.
He's had some debut season. Like it is Joe's first season in there, and at the start of the year, I didn't see Joe dominating games the way that he did dominate, and he's been absolutely brilliant from in every game he played. And today was difficult for him. Joe's a big man himself. Joe must be 6'3". There's a guy standing beside him, and Joe's not even up to his shoulder length. And he still got up and he battled as well as he could. But yeah, brilliant debut season from Joe, and also from Charlie King, who we've seen him with UL earlier in the year. He brought that form into Tip, and had some magnificent games throughout the year. So with that, I think somebody said that 11 of the team are 21 or under. 11 of the 26 today are 21 or under. So if we can keep bringing on them, and I always say, Paul, you can't forget about the older lads either. Like you see what Jimmy Feehan did there today. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Paddy Feehan as well, Stephen O'Brien. We need to get another 2 or 3 seasons out of it. Well, 2 seasons anyway out of these. And I was disappointed not to see him in Maloney start today. He was named. I thought he was ideal for today, but maybe he's carrying an injury or something like that. But don't get rid of the older lads. Keep developing these younger lads, and I think next year, the sky's the limit for us. I think we should be aiming for promotion next year, and it's certainly not. It's not a pipe dream. It's certainly, I think, after the year they've had, a good solid year this year, I think it is actually a realistic ambition to get promotion from Division 4 next year.
Well, that is the end of the 2026 season for the Tipperary senior footballers. Many thanks to yourself, Anthony, for your coverage of this season with Tipperary and with us here on Tipp FM. And many thanks, of course, to our sponsors, John Kennedy Motors, your main Toyota dealers in Clonmel. So that's it, all from us here in Echelon Park in Aughrim. Tipperary's season has come to a finish, and it's finished up on a full-time scoreline of Wicklow 117, Tipperary 12 points.